Hello and a very good day to our lecturer T.S. Rosliana Fitri Said. Today, me and my group members are going to present to you the current development of plantation crops in Malaysia, which are paddy, cocoa, pepper, and pineapple. These are the members of my teammates. Without wasting any time, let's get started. Since few years ago, Malaysia is known as one of the famous countries in agriculture sector. It is because there are many types of crops that were planted in Malaysia to gain our country's incomes. As example, paddy, cocoa, pepper, and pineapple. As the day goes by, the cultivation of these crops have been developed and become more advanced. The development, such as technology, really affect the current situation of these crops. Without wasting any time, let's move on to the current development of paddy crop. The development of paddy crop happened drastically since paddy consumed by more than 50% of human population in this world, and it also has a high demand in market. As the demand of the paddy increases, it encourages people to do a development in order to enhance the production of paddy. Without wasting any time, let's move on to the current development of paddy crop. As what we can see now, in 2021, rice has grown all over Malaysia and covering approximately 600,000 hectares of land. Peninsular Malaysia accounts for 2/3 of this land, half of which is covered by 8 large irrigation schemes. This so-called granary area that produces the majority of the country's annual paddy productions of approximately 2 million tons. In and around the granaries, as well as the other rice region, there are over 400 rice mills of variation capacities. The most planted paddy in Peninsular Malaysia is in Kedah, and the state also known as Negeri Jelapang Padi. Firstly is drone. A drone, in technological term, is an unmanned aircraft. Essentially, a drone is a flying robot that can be remotely controlled. Drone help farmers to optimize the use of fertilizer and pesticide. Besides, it also can reduce 50% of the farmer's time in the operation of fertilizer and pesticides application compared to the conventional one. Before the use of drone service, the farmers need to apply the fertilizer and pesticides manually. Secondly is remote sensing. The function of remote sensing is to do spectral imaging collected from satellites and aircraft assists in the planning and management of agriculture system. The farmers can access the exact capabilities of their farms by identifying firms to suit each area. And the last current development of technology in paddy is computer-aided design and laser technology. The most efficient use of water is ensured through laser land farming. Farmers have complete control over how much water flows on and off their land.
The current situation of cocoa that happened in Malaysia today is decline of export earnings from cocoa-based product. Malaysia is now Asia's second largest cocoa bean processor and the world's 7th, with 22% of the Asia-Oceania market for cocoa-based products. Chocolate exports totaled 1.14 billion in year, up to 10.7% from 1.03 billion the previous year. However, due to the execution of the Movement Control Order to prevent the spread of COVID-19, The country's export profits contribution from cocoa and cocoa-based goods as well as cocoa grinding activities is predicted to drop by 18%. Even though the impact of COVID-19 has decreased the economy performance, there are efforts to encourage the development of cocoa. For example, promoting handmade chocolate and diversifying the uses of cocoa-based goods in downstream segments. As you can see in the slide, these are the 3 artisanal chocolate makers that are well known in Malaysia, which are Benz, Seniman Cacao, and Harrison Chocolatier. The Cocoa Innovative and Technology Center of the Malaysian Cocoa Board is conducting research and development in cocoa downstream activities such as personal care products, cosmetics, medicinal ingredients, and biotechnology for the commodity. Big data and artificial intelligence are 2 of the many technology advancements that will dominate the 4th industrial revolution. As a result, it is prudent to keep an eye out for these developments that may have an impact on our way of life in the future. Memorandum of Understanding have been done between Malaysia Cocoa Board and University Malaysia Pahang relates to research collaboration on projects to produce healthcare products in e-nose sensor technologies. The e-nose sensor technology will utilize an artificial intelligence system that will mimic human senses to improve cocoa bean quality inspection by recognizing smell, taste, and active ingredient profile. In the early phases of cocoa bean quality inspection, this e-nose sensor technology will be able to help speed up and increase the efficiency of scent and taste assessment. Thus, cocoa is still relevant in the industry. Many efforts have been done to make Malaysia as the biggest cocoa producer in Asia, even the pandemic has caused the economy to decrease.
Summary of pineapple current development. Pineapple, which is Ananas commusus, is a fruitful perennial plant. The pineapple is a tropical and subtropical fruit that has spread around the world. Fruit has become an essential ingredient in meat, vegetable, rice, and rice dishes in what is known as Pan-Asian cuisine. The fruit is consumed in both fresh and tinned form all throughout the world. In most nations, pineapple is occasionally used to make cakes or fillings for pastries. Pineapple is one of the most economically important tropical fruit crops in tropical and subtropical climates. The most extensively grown cultivar in the world, the smooth cayenne variety or Cayena lisa in Spanish, is gradually being overtaken by the commercially successful sweet hybrid variety MD2. Malaysia is the country which was formerly one of the top 3 pineapple growers in the world in the 1960s and early 1970s, now has a small industry. Only about 8,000 hectares of pineapple have been planted in the last 5 years, with 5,000 hectares handled by 3 major pineapple canning farms. Between 1990 and 1997, canned pineapple exports fell from 2.5 to 1.6 million standard cases, with the United States, Japan, and the Middle East as the main destination. Smallholder with an area of roughly 1,200 hectares are the only ones that grow fresh pineapple. Fresh pineapple exports are limited, often fewer than 30,000 tons per year, and are primarily aimed at the Singapore market. Fresh pineapple exports, on the other hand, have lately climbed to 40,000 tons worth RM 10,000 million in 1997. The fresh pineapple market is predicted to develop further after the release of the new hybrid Josephine in 1996. In other hand, there are also few problems in pineapple industry such as labor shortage, the machinery less sophisticated, and no suitable environment to boost their growth for pineapple. For the first development for the pineapple is MPIB has created Internet of Things that known as IoT, which is to make efficiency for agriculture and especially pineapple. For pineapple, smart tani system are used to collect data for pineapple actual needs so it can save farm operating costs. Every data such as soil pH, humidity, temperature, fertilizer content percentage, and some related needs can be seen by the farmer through this technology. If the pineapple not sweet as what they expect, they only need to see the data and solve the problem. This development makes farmer so much easier to keep the quality of their pineapple because of every data on their fingertips. Second development for pineapple is they are use a modern technology for crop management such as drone fertilizer to fasten their time to spread the fertilizer to all the pineapple. They also use machinery such as boom sprayer and induction technology. Lastly, in the face of labor shortage and growing other input costs, the latest technology for pineapple growth on peat appears to solve the problems. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next, I will present about the summary of current development in pepper. First, I will present about the current situation of pepper in Malaysia. On top of that, we need to know that right now Malaysia has ranked number 5 in the world of pepper production after Vietnam, Indonesia, Brazil, and India. Each year, Malaysia has produced over 22,000 metric tons of pepper. Next, the state that has produced the largest number of pepper in Malaysia is Sarawak. Lastly, Malaysia has targeted over 216 million worth of exports. Next, I will present about the current development of pepper. Here we got 4 development of pepper. First of all is the demand of pepper globally in exports. Second is supply chain and manpower. Third is the research and development. And lastly is the marketing. Demand of pepper globally in exports. Right now, interest of pepper has kept expanding. Other than that, Malaysia pepper has been traded to various nations, especially in Japan. In addition, there is also a supply chain and manpower. Food preparing in Malaysia is developing generally 4% to 6% yearly. Pepper will usually be shipped off to the downstream. Over 33,695 cultivating families associated with the pepper development in Malaysia. Pepper cultivating has been restricted to family members only due to the cost of work that has increased each year. As for the research and development, the team right now is focusing on strengthening pepper biotechnology, pepper agronomy, downstream research and food product development. And there is the ongoing project which is the creation of pepper varieties which can more resistant to pests and disease, more responsive to fertilizer and produce higher yields. Lastly is the marketing. The marketing in the pepper production industry has been establishing a new market channels, promoting utilizing e-commerce, new market outlet to be explored both domestic and international. To sum up this study on current development of some crops in Malaysia, we can conclude that the development of crops in Malaysia are getting better each year. The development of crops production in Malaysia has become the backbone of our economic sector. Our agriculture sector has contributed to growth and become major contributors to national income and export earnings. Other than that, it also has a lot of importance such as increased self-sufficiency, improved balance of trade, and increased food production. There are a lot of things that should be done to achieve the agriculture program to improve the crops production. Hence, the government should take an early action in order to maintain our plantation industry sector performance and make our plantation industry known on the world stage.